It was approximately 12:15 when I entered the Johnson County Community Health Clinic. I was there for an appointment I had set up weeks ago. Just a routine checkup. It wasn't a new place for me. I had been there a couple of times before. However, the place had an odd nostalgic feel to it, as if it were a location from my childhood or something. And I could never pinpoint exactly what this feeling was or where it really came from. As I walked in, an overwhelming feeling of deja vu just swept over me. You know, the hum of flickering fluorescent lights, those white tile floors, the muted beige paint that covered the walls. I noticed that there was a TV mounted in the corner. It was a smaller flat screen that was playing a short PowerPoint slideshow on a loop of a bunch of ads and events that were being held by the clinic. I passed an empty waiting area. You know, it was a small area of the main room filled with magazines, children's playthings, and a bunch of blue cushioned chairs. And I approached the woman who was sitting at the front desk. She was in a bluish gray office chair, looking at a spreadsheet on the same Windows XP desktop that they've had since probably 2008. There was a sign-in sheet on the counter sitting right in front of me. "I have an appointment with Dr. Peebens?" I asked. "What time?" 12:30, I replied. She began typing something into her keyboard. "Ah, yes," she responded. "Gary Johnson?" "Mm-hmm." "Yes, I'll tell the doctor. Please fill this out." So she handed me a clipboard which held a simple fill-out form. I walked back to the waiting area, took a seat, and began to fill the form out. I was about halfway done with filling in my information when I slumped back in my chair. You know, I hadn't gotten much sleep the night prior, and truth be told, I was exhausted. As I slumped back, I noticed something very peculiar. My head, it never hit the wall. In fact, it felt like it went in. You know, I got up, quite frightened, and I just stared at the wall. Nothing. Not a single hole or dent had been made in the wall by my head or had already been there. So I reached to touch the wall, and my fingers went right through it. I recoiled in shock. What the hell was that? I thought as I reached to touch the wall once again, only to find my fingers clipped through once more. Then suddenly, I lost my balance. You know, I tripped and I fell directly through the wall. I fell face first into some dirty tan carpeting. And upon getting up, I realized that I was in a completely different room. Well, not really a room per se. It was more so a set of rooms, all of which were connected by these openings. And the walls, they were covered in this gross tan patterned wallpaper. There was also this overwhelming stench of moist carpet. I turned around and tried to push my hand back through the wall, and it wouldn't go through. "Okay, what the fuck?" I muttered. I looked back into the room. There were no windows, no doors, nothing on the walls. I mean, other than that disgusting wallpaper, of course, it was completely empty, aside from a singular plastic blue school chair. At this point, the only thing going through my mind was fear and this repeating thought of, "I need to leave," on loop in my head. I started running through the rooms, desperately trying to find an exit, but to no avail. There was no exit. Was this my permanent place? My permanent location until I died? No, there had to be a way out. I just wasn't going to be left here, right? Right? Eventually someone would notice that I was gone. But nobody did. Then, off in the distance, I heard the footsteps. But they weren't those of a human's. No. No. I mean, at least not a normal human. And alongside those footsteps was this gurgling snarl. Like that of an angry animal. So I began to run, and I ran as fast as I could from whatever the hell was approaching me. I didn't want anything to do with whatever the fuck that thing was. And I ran for what seemed like forever, but I was always back at the same room I started in. At least it looked like the same room. Not that I could tell them apart. So I leaned up against that musty wall and sat down, defeated. And this feeling of dread, it just overtook my entire body as I started to cry. I was going to die here. And you know what? I'm still here. I haven't left. I've accepted my fate. In fact, I can actually hear the footsteps now. I wonder who it is.
If you're not careful and you noclip out of reality in the wrong areas, you will end up in the backrooms, where it's nothing but the stink of old moist carpet, the madness of mono yellow, the endless background noise of fluorescent lights at maximum hum buzz, and approximately 600 million square miles of randomly segmented empty rooms to be trapped in. God save you if you hear something wandering around nearby, because it sure as hell heard you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well. Everybody, I'm back. I'm testing out my microphone, testing out my camera, I'm testing out the new Wi-Fi. I did try doing this with headphones on, but let me tell you, it gets really distracting hearing your own voice about a second later. You can't really think. So I discarded them, and we're not going to use them for any videos at this point until I get a pair that might be a little bit better. But I hope you all enjoyed the story. I hope you all enjoy this little test Easter egg that I am embedding at the end of the story. And I just wanted to say, welcome to 2026. I hope you're still sticking with your New Year's resolutions. I know that I am. Not easy, but you gotta do what you gotta do. And let's have a wonderful year of scary stories together. Alright, everybody. Peace out.
Uncle Magnetti, I want to be you. Uncle Magnetti.